Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. So I'm taking this channel in yet another direction because I think that this is, not only is it a lifestyle thing, but it's also a law of attraction thing. And when I started the Magic Junk Drawer, I really wanted it to be anything, anything that came up in my life that I felt I could use to help people. I wanted to incorporate it into the channel. So this now will be a new series about my journey as being a single mom. I'm not going to get into my relationship. My relationship with, we'll just call him Papa, is fine. It's just that we're not married, so technically I am a single mom, or I will be a single mom. And I want to leave his name out of it just for his privacy, and I just really wanted, it's more about me because I will probably be more of the sole provider and caretaker or whatever you want to call it. But, and like I said, I'm not married. So you're married or you're not, and I'm not. So we're just going to leave it at that. So this is the story. I have always thought that I was going to have children, always. Like growing up, I wanted to have a lot of kids. I wanted like 4 kids. But it just never happened. Like, I don't know why. It just never happened. And sometimes people would have these theories like, well, if you really wanted them, you would have had them. It would have happened. And I was like, no, it's just something that never happened. I have to tell you this too. I have Saturn in my first house. It makes me boringly responsible. It makes me have anxiety if I'm going to be late for something. I'm incredibly punctual, and people always think of me as being a very free spirit, which I am, but I have I'm very grounded when it comes to responsibility. So I'm not willy-nilly when it comes to like my relationships and what's going on. Like I've had plenty of friends that would be like, oh, well, I just went off the pill. Or they would be like, well, I just decided to take out my IUD. And then they would play stupid as to when they got pregnant. When meanwhile, we all know what you did. You pulled a fucking stunt. You're not the first person to do it, but that's what you did. Don't tell me that you didn't mean for this to happen because you just told me that you went off the pill. And you probably didn't tell your partner. You just did it and figured that you would let the chips fall where they may. I'm not like that. I can't do that. Like I don't know why. I have no idea why. It's funny because I just took some kind of a personality test one of my friends suggested, and my number one personality trait was honesty, and my number 2 one was that I treat people fairly. So it is like so deeply ingrained into me that I cannot do something either manipulating or bamboozling. Like I just would not do that. It's just, that doesn't sit right with me. And I don't like to do things to manipulate people. And I would feel like that would be me manipulating the situation. So this is something that literally just happened. Like, how did it happen? It's like, so here's the story. It was in the middle of May when I realized that I was late. And I'm never late, ever. Like my cycle has always been right on time. I mean, if I was 2 days late, it would be very late for me. And that was like really infrequent. It was much more frequent for me to get it early than it would be for me to get it late. Now my Fitbit tracks it. So the Fitbit doesn't make a mistake. The Fitbit knows when it's supposed to come. So it was the middle of May. I don't know if it was like the 14th, 15th, 16th, something like that. And it still hadn't come. So now I'm starting, like I work around a lot of women, and some of them are a good couple of years older than me. And they would always say things like, well, things start to change when you turn 45, or you might start getting it more often, or wait until this happens. And then I also heard a lot of this, women that never had children before will go through menopause early. So that's what I thought. I thought, oh my God, I never had children. And this is like, my body's like, okay, well, we're done here. We're not waiting around anymore. We're moving on. And it was really sad. you know, because I've always like, I felt like, well, I have time, I have time, I have time, I have time. And then all of a sudden it was like my time was over. And it was like, now that was it. It's done. And I was talking to Amanda from Create Your Future with Amanda, because I do sessions with her every now and again. And I told her what was happening. And she was like, your body is healthy. Your body works as it should be. You have plenty of time. And you're just going to have to keep repeating this over and over to yourself, because you are not too old. Where I'm going to say that probably a couple of years ago was when I started to digest that I probably wouldn't have children. And I was trying to just let it go. Like, okay, well, maybe that's not for me. Maybe I'm just supposed to be a dog mom. I mean, I got this big pit bull squeezed himself underneath his chair because he's got to be with me all the time. Well, I love dogs. So I thought, well, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to just rescue dogs. And maybe it's not something I'm supposed to question. And then this happened. So by the middle of, or towards the end of May, or whenever it was, I mentioned this to Papa Smurf. And, you know, I said to him, listen, I looked up the statistics, and the statistics of a woman my age conceiving a child, if she was actively trying, is 1%. If she's had children before, there's a 3% chance. And if she's trying through in vitro fertilization, there is a 30% chance. So the statistics are not in the favor of a child, but more in the favor of my actually going through menopause early. And he was like, this is what he said. He goes, what makes you think that we're not in that 1%? Now, my mom was almost 51 when she died. And she had gone through brain surgery, radiation, chemotherapy. She was battling cancer in several areas of her body. And she still hadn't gone through menopause at the time that she passed. So I really didn't think that, I mean, the only thing that I kept saying is, well, you never had children, so maybe, you know, it's over. So then when I finally decided that I should probably just go get a test, you know, I waited long enough, like it was, I don't know, a good couple of weeks, that I figured that the test would be accurate. I went to CVS, and it was before class. And I was kind of upset when I was driving to class that day, because like I said, it's like I had time, and then all of a sudden it was over. So I went down into CVS, and I'm walking down the aisle, and right before I get to like the feminine section where I had to go, there was like a display of something. I don't know what was on the display, but right where it should not have been, sticking out so I could see it, was this. A gold pineapple. So I'm like, oh no, there's my sign. So anyway, it turns out we are having a baby. I know, it's crazy. But maybe it just goes to show you that I got to the point, like I had focused on it, I always thought I would have children, and I finally let it go. And then that's when it happened. And it wasn't something I had to try for. It wasn't something I had to manipulate. It wasn't something I had to beg, borrow, steal, or twist. It just happened. So that's my story, and that's where we are. And I'm going to continue taking you through the journey. If you're watching this today, I'm at 17 weeks today. But I'm going to go through some of the things that happened to me up until this point. All right, if you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe, share us with your friends, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.